So Zohran Mamdani just became the first Muslim mayor of New York City. And 50 Cent, who is a New York native, is not too happy about that. In fact, he just posted this on his Instagram, saying, "Rest in peace to New York City."
And my job as someone who believes deeply in the public sector is to ensure that we're delivering public excellence. And that means every dollar that we raise, I want to be able to prove to you that it's every dollar that's being well spent. That's the relationship there. And I do have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to many men.
And Republicans actively protect pedophiles.
DL just snapped on 50 Cent. And let's be real, he didn't miss a single shot. DL went off saying he's done watching rich celebs pretend they're still down for the everyday folks, when, in reality, the moment a policy pops up that could actually help regular people, they suddenly lose their minds. It's wild how quick some of these so-called men of the people switch up when it's not all about them. Now, you've probably already seen the news. Zohran Mamdani just got elected as the new mayor of New York City. The man hasn't even had time to settle into his office, and already 50 Cent's out here acting like the city's about to collapse overnight. Like, what's got him so pressed before the guys even unpacked a single box? DL didn't hold back either. He straight up called 50 out for being fake. He said that 50 talks a big game about real life and the struggle. But the moment politics hit his wallet, the truth comes out fast. People online are saying DL just said what everyone's been thinking, but nobody wanted to admit. Now this whole thing's blowing up and social media is having a field day with it. Fans are torn. Some are backing 50, saying he's just speaking his mind, while others are riding with DL, saying he's exposing the truth about how disconnected some of these celebs have become. Things got so heated that even Mamdani had to step in and make a statement. This isn't just celebrity drama. This is straight up war of words between two heavyweights, and it's getting messy fast. So here's where it all blew up after Zohran Mamdani made history as New York City's first Muslim mayor. This man's election shook the city's power circle because he's not your typical politician. He's one of the most progressive figures NYC's ever seen.
The working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands.
His whole campaign was built on real issues that hit home for everyday people. Rent freezes, affordable housing, and even free public transit. Yeah, you heard that right. Free rides for working folks trying to survive in this wild economy. Mani came in talking about making life easier for those who've been overlooked for too long instead of just cozying up to the rich and powerful. And guess who couldn't handle that? 50 Cent. As soon as the election results dropped, 50 jumped online, acting like the city had just been wiped off the map. He shared an image of a tombstone that said, "RIP NYC," with 2025 written as the year the city officially died. Dramatic much? But he didn't stop there. Just a few hours later, he posted another picture of himself having dinner with his crew, captioning it, "Escape from New York, hit the road. All roads lead to Shreveport." Like, bro, what? Now, if you don't know, Shreveport is that city in northwestern Louisiana where 50's been setting up his next big move, turning it into his new empire. He's been pouring serious money into this thing, leasing massive studio spaces, launching a $50 million entertainment district, and rebranding the whole area as the new home of G-Unit Film and Television. He's basically saying, forget New York, the future's down south, and letting everyone know that if they want to work with him, they'd better head straight to Shreveport. But here's the real reason behind his outrage. Mayor Manny's new plan. The man's proposing to raise income taxes by just 2% for people making over $1 million a year and bumping up corporate tax rates to about 11.5%. And on top of that, he's fixing that broken property tax system that lets billionaire penthouses cost less than family homes in the Bronx. It's a bold move, one that has the ultra-rich sweating. So while regular folks are out here cheering for change, 50's busy mourning a city that's finally trying to take care of its people. DL and a whole lot of others are calling him out, saying it's funny how quick he turned his back on the same streets he used to represent.
Here's what's interesting to me. So Mamdani is going to be the new mayor of New York, 34-year-old kid. Like I said, I live in New York. I couldn't vote in that election, but if I could, it would have been an easy choice. But here's what I really don't understand. The man who is actively trying to use hunger to get his political way, saying that people won't have food unless they do his political bidding, is saying that the man who wants to make rent cheaper, public transportation cheaper, and food cheaper is the one who is ruining America. So the man who wants to starve you to get what he wants thinks that the dude who wants to feed you, house you, and get you, make you able to.
The man went from get rich or die trying to don't tax me, I'm leaving, and it's got everyone talking. Mamdani even doubled down in his campaign speeches, saying he planned to shift the heavy tax load off struggling neighborhoods and finally make those luxury zones like Central Park South pay their fair share. He called out how billion-dollar condo towers keep getting sweetheart tax breaks while families in the Bronx and Queens can barely hold on to their homes. That hit hard for a lot of New Yorkers, but for 50 Cent, that was the last straw. He started acting like the city was falling apart overnight, like change suddenly meant chaos. It's wild how fast he flipped the script the second things started affecting people in his tax bracket. But the internet wasn't buying it at all. The comments under his posts were absolutely brutal. People chewed him up for hours straight, calling him out for forgetting his roots and turning his back on the same people who helped build his name. One user straight up wrote, "Guy who sold crack to his community suddenly cares about their well-being." Another reminded him that when he got shot 9 times, the hospital that saved him was funded by taxpayers. Someone else even said, "Your grandma was on food stamps. Remember that before you talk down on the same system that kept you alive." And that's not all. One follower took it all the way there with, "Won't be long before he's in Tel Aviv kissing the wall, LOL." The whole comment section turned into a full-on roast session. People were saying 50's lost touch, that he's more worried about protecting his millions than supporting real change that could help families like the one he came from. That's when DL Hughley decided to step in and send a message straight at 50. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. DL said, "It's wild to see people like 50 who came from the struggle now crying over policies designed to help the same folks they used to be." He went on to call out how all these wealthy celebs stayed silent when Trump was out here slashing food stamps, cutting aid programs, and literally weaponizing hunger for politics. Yet now suddenly, they've got so much to say because a mayor wants to make the rich pay a little more? DL's words hit deep, and the crowd online knew it. His take made people rethink where 50's loyalty really lies. Is he still for the people or just for his empire? The whole situation flipped the spotlight on how some celebrities forget their roots once the money starts flowing, and that's exactly what's got fans talking louder than ever. And now, things just got even spicier, because Mayor Mamdani himself finally clapped back at 50 Cent. Instead of dodging the shade, he came straight for the truth and shut down all that fake panic. It started when 50 posted that he'd pay Mamdani $285,750 to leave NYC, like he was buying his way out of paying taxes. But Mamdani wasn't bothered at all. He laughed it off and said 50 clearly had no idea how the tax plan actually worked. He explained that the new system was designed to make life better for everyone, not punish success, but balance things out so working families could actually breathe again. Still, 50 wouldn't let it go. He reposted a clip of Mamdani's interview to his Instagram and doubled down in his caption, writing, "I think his intentions are good, but his tax plan is going to run the big money out of the city, and if he defunds the police, they are going to purge. All roads lead to Shreveport." Like, seriously? This man just turned a political discussion into an apocalyptic movie plot. Let's be real though. What 50 wrote there is a straight-up scare tactic. That whole "the rich are gonna leave" line has been recycled since the 1970s. Every time a politician dares to tax the wealthy a little more, billionaires start yelling about packing their bags. And then guess what? They never actually go anywhere. They know New York is the money capital of the world, the place where power and opportunity live side by side. Nobody's giving that up over a couple extra percentage points. And to prove it, let's talk about billionaire Bill Amann, a hedge fund tycoon who spent months trashing Zohran Mamdani during the campaign. He didn't just debate policy. He went low, real low. He spread racist dog whistles online, painted Mamdani as some kind of radical extremist, and told everyone he was moving to Florida if Mamdani ever got elected. The man went on a whole fear campaign like his life depended on it. But here's the twist. The second Mamdani was declared the winner, this same billionaire jumped on Twitter and wrote, "Zohran Mamdani, congrats on the win." Just like that, all that tough talk vanished overnight. No moving trucks, no goodbye speech, no Florida, just a tweet in silence. That's how quick these "I'm leaving New York" threats fall apart when reality hits. So, while 50's busy trying to turn this into a horror story about the city falling apart, the truth is simple. The ones yelling the loudest are usually the ones staying right where they are, and that right there is a straight-up fact. 50's entire post is built on fear. Fear that the rich will pack their bags, the city will crumble, and somehow, regular people will suffer because billionaires might have to chip in a little more. But here's the truth, that fear only serves one group, the folks sitting comfortably at the top. While everyday New Yorkers are stressing about rent, subway delays, and skyrocketing grocery prices, 50's out here crying over a tax bump he could pay off with 1 week of royalty checks. He's doing all this talking from his mansion in Houston, not from the neighborhoods that raised him. And that's exactly what DL Hughley meant when he called him out. DL was pointing out how wild it is to see someone who built his whole brand on get rich or die trying suddenly act like the problem is regular people just trying to live. It's like these celebs forget the grind once they make it. The moment they're in the 1%, they start seeing fairness as a threat instead of a fix. So, at the end of the day, this isn't just about 50 Cent throwing a tantrum or one billionaire tweeting out of fear. It's about a whole pattern we've been seeing for years. Wealthy people using scare tactics to make progress sound dangerous, hoping the public will turn against policies that actually help them. The game's always been the same. Make working people afraid of change so the rich can keep everything the same. Meanwhile, Mamdani's over here focused on something real, improving life for the people who make this city run. He's talking rent control, fair taxes, and opportunity. And somehow, that's got the elite shaking like it's the end of the world.
If you are indeed watching, or anyone else who's watching this show, is I continue to think that having the top 1% of New York City, who are making more than $1 million a year, having them pay 2% more for an economic agenda that would transform every New Yorker's life, including their own, is something that is worthwhile. I have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to Many Men. It's true.
Well, you take Many Men for motivation. I was going to say your answer sounds a little bit like clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
Wow.
And if we had more time...
It's wild to watch how the ones yelling, "Rip New York," are the same ones still cashing checks off the city they claim is done. So what do you think? Do you agree with 50 that Zohran Mamdani's plan is going to destroy New York? Or do you think he's just protecting his millions while the rest of the city fights for survival? Because let's be real, this whole situation goes deeper than one celebrity ranting online. It's a mirror showing exactly how power works in America right now. Every time someone like Mamdani comes along trying to fix a system that's been broken for decades, the rich and famous start panicking like the world's ending. They use their platforms to spread fear, talking about how businesses will leave, how the city will die, how jobs will vanish, when in reality, none of that ever happens. The truth is, what they're really afraid of isn't higher taxes, it's losing control. They're scared of regular people realizing that the system's been rigged against them this whole time. Because if working folks start waking up and demanding fairness, then the rich can't keep hoarding all the benefits while everyone else struggles. That's the real reason behind all these dramatic posts, all these fake goodbye New York threats, and all these emotional speeches about protecting the economy. It's not about the city, it's about protecting privilege. Meanwhile, the very people they claim to be speaking for are still stuck hustling 2 jobs, paying rent that eats half their paycheck, and praying the subway doesn't break down on the way to work. And now, when a mayor finally shows up ready to challenge that cycle, the same people who once rapped about the struggle are siding with billionaires instead of the block they came from. It's a wild twist, but it's the kind of thing that shows exactly who's real and who's just performing for the cameras. Or do you think 50's just another one who lost touch the moment he hit the top? The same guy who once rapped about surviving the streets now crying over paying a little extra to help the people still living in them? It's wild when you really think about it. The same struggle that built his empire is the one he's now turning his back on. Fans are saying he's forgotten what it means to grind. that he's more focused on protecting his millionaire status than remembering where he started. So what's your take on all this? Is 50 standing up for business? Or is he just exposing how far he's drifted from the people who made him a legend in the first place? Because let's be real, it's one thing to get rich, but it's another to forget your roots once you do. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about this whole situation. And don't forget, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next wild twist in this story, because things are just starting to heat up.